For the past 3 years, this first-person shooter has been in development by a small team led by one man. And not just any man, a man of many opinions, a man who's primarily known for his harsh critique of video games and their developers, and a man that's not afraid to speak his mind. And in this situation, what that does is put a target on his back, because if this game isn't good, his reputation as a YouTuber could crumble. My name is Tacti, and I'm on a quest to find the most immersive experiences available on the internet, and today, we're going to talk about Transients. Okay, let's start briefly with what is Transients. Transients is an upcoming single-player FPS with stealth and tactical action elements. You play as Eli Reed, a mercenary known as an accountant, who's been betrayed and is now a target himself. Set in a dystopian version of New Houston in 2056, the game follows Reed's quest to uncover the mystery behind the bounty on his head. Players can choose between stealth or aggressive combat approaches using advanced gadgets and near-future tech. So essentially, a story-driven single-player FPS. It's one of those tactical shooters which is in this developer's element. Now, I personally am excited for this game just because a first-person hardcore tactical shooter like this sounds fun in general. The general idea of it sounds fun, but not everybody's on board, and a lot of people want it to fail because the developer, like I said, is not just an ordinary developer, he's a critic. The developer, you probably know him, is BigFry, and he isn't received well by everybody. For me personally, this has been my experience with BigFry. When I first started the channel, I didn't like him, right? I thought he was cocky, I thought he was snarky, I thought he said a lot of mean and maybe hurtful things for no particular reason other than he just wanted to be harsh and brash. But as I've gotten to know him, as I've grown to know him, I have a little different view on him. He is actually, it's refreshing because of how upfront he is and how honest he is with everything, because you know exactly what you're going to get with him. You know exactly what, when he says something to you, you know he means it, right? And so I've really grown fond of BigFry over the past, I don't know, 5 years doing the channel. He brought me on board with the ad agency that he works for or works with, and I really respected him as a creator. I met him over in New York as well. Just a very authentic guy, and he's not everybody's cup of tea, which is fine. But that's my general background with him when it comes to this game. So that's sort of where I'm coming from, but I think that my critiques and my thoughts on the game are actually pretty valid and fair, even despite, you know, being his friend, because I think he hits a really good niche when it comes to these first-person tactical shooters. So I want to talk about that here and why the game is exciting to me. Overall, you know, I'm just excited about a first-person single-player story-driven game, right? There's not a ton of those on the market, and for his first game, I think it's great. I think he wanted to start with that first-person single-player experience and then branch out later on after, you know, this makes him a little bit of money, really grows his name, grows his brand, grows his development studio a little bit. So it's really cool. Right now, it's just kind of a hodgepodge of his community members, and they've contracted out some people, but from what I can tell, it's only about 10 players or 10 developers that are working on this game, which I think is really cool, because just this small group, it actually started as a meme. You can watch the devlog. I will link it down below. But it started as a meme, and now it's grown to be something that's going to be something you could purchase soon. I don't know how soon, hopefully within the next few months, but it does sound like they're sort of wrapping things up. So I'm excited about that. But that's not the only reason I'm excited about the game, right? Like I said earlier, there is a target on his back. People are going to want this game to fail. And because of that, I think they're taking the extra steps when it comes to the quality of the game or the quality of the experience. And just looking at this devlog, I want to go through it a little bit. Looking at this devlog, I think really shows how much quality they want in their game. So I want to show you this little tidbit of what they're doing and why it blows my mind.
Over the past year, we've deep dived the use of level sequencing to create in-game cinematics within Unreal Engine. Frosty acquired a mocap suit and has been doing a lot of the capture sessions, as well as the modeling and animation work to produce what you just saw.
Now, what's crazy to me is, like, I don't know a ton about game development or how game development works, and I don't know a ton about camera angles and motion capture. I don't know a ton of that, but I know it takes a long time. And not just that, but seeing the way that they place that camera, seeing the way that they're trying to figure out the scenes for their cinematic little intros there and their cinematic scenes and all that, I'm sort of blown away because they don't have to take those extra steps. They are currently going with an approach that has more of a comic book feel. So as you can tell, the graphics are called cell shaded. And so there's a realistic vibe to it, but it's not super realistic. There's still some comic booky looking stuff with it. So they were going to go with just the different cutscenes between whether it's scenes or whether it's missions, whatever it was, they were going to go just with the comic book feel, the comic book little explanations there. And they're still going to be doing that, but they've been working hard with these cinematic in-game scenes. And I just really respect that. I respect the extra effort that it takes to put something like that out, to shift a little bit and be like, hey, we don't want the experience to be just the experience to be quality. We want the whole story to be quality. We want the story feel to be quality. We don't want just good gun mechanics, good stealth mechanics, good AI. We want the game to look good, to feel good, to be immersive in that, and that's what they talked about a lot in this. They talked a lot about how they're trying to really immerse you into this story because especially, you know, as a single player game, it's got to have a good story. Otherwise, it's not going to hold people's attention. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the story plays out and seeing, you know, how you can approach different missions because it's not going to be a super long game, but even if it's a shorter game and you allow yourself to be immersed in it and the developers and the scenes and the story can pull you into it more, it can be a very, very enjoyable experience. And that's what I'm hoping for. And that's honestly, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen here with this game. That's sort of my expectation when it comes to the game. But again, a little biased because I kind of like BigFry. But that's not all. Obviously, they've talked about their level design, which has looked great. They showed some before and they showed some after of how the levels look. Here, you're going to see a lot of darkness. You're going to see a lot of darker levels, but the levels have really been fleshed out quite a bit. It's cool to see stuff like this because what happens is I get to see the progression of it's come from this to this. And to me, it just blows my mind because I took a computer science class. I failed once for other reasons, not because I'm stupid, but I failed computer science and did some coding stuff with it. And I don't like it. Okay. When there's a problem that comes up on the screen and I can't figure it out, I'm just annoyed. And I don't want to touch it. Okay, I'm not that detail oriented. So to have someone take just that, I made a click box, a drop down menu once. That's all I did. But to have someone take knowledge far greater than mine and put it into a game where it's just a bunch of ones and zeros, and to see how that game progresses, man, it's fantastic. I like to see progress. I like to see growth out of all people, truthfully. And that's what gets me excited about this project. Now, another thing I'm excited about is, you know, the animations, the gunplay. The gunplay so far looks great. You know, it's got realistic animations. You've got to inspect animations. Always a fan of those, right? They get me kind of hot and bothered when I see some nice inspect animations. But they've got those animations and they've got weapon customization that's going to go along with it. It says that they're going to have about 500 different like ways to modify your character or your weapons or something like combinations. And so I'm excited to see how that works because one of the things that these games do and probably what they're going to do with their like progression system is they're going to start with, you're going to have just kind of a pistol or something like that. You're going to have a suppressed pistol and you've got to work your way up. And then towards the end, you're going to be able to choose any gun that you want and you're going to have tons of customization options with it. That tends to be how it goes. So I'm excited to see that and how they implement that progression system to keep people from, you know, just getting the best weapon at the beginning and instead really make them work for it. I really like how those first person like storyline games do their progression when it comes to that. I also think the game has got a very interesting vibe. It's set in the future, Houston 2056, I think New Houston 2056. And the music that this guy has been creating for them, that this in the art style, I guess I should mention that as well. The art style that my buddy Redbeard Mortis is doing for them just looks fantastic and it sounds fantastic. So far, everything about the environment and I'm 34 and I'm still just using this word, vibe. The game has a vibe to it, and they seem to be capturing that vibe with every single aspect of the game. The sound design, the music, the art style, the environments, everything is really kind of coming together. And I don't know if he's sort of the lead designer of the game when it comes to this, but I would imagine so. But I know that he and his, I guess, colleagues, buddies, really have sort of similar visions for the game. So I think that they are doing a very good job of working together, collaborating with contractors, with other artists to bring it together, especially when it comes to the voice acting. Man, I almost forgot to mention that. The voice acting in this game sounds great. They've added voice acting, they've got a motion capture suit, and they have added those animations with it. And so that again is going to bring you into an environment, into an understanding of the environment or the situation that you find yourself in, more than like those comic book screens would, or more than like just simple environmental storytelling hints would, even though there's probably going to be a little bit more of that. Being able to tell the story through a person on the screen that's doing person movements in an environment that seems realistic and dark and has drawn you in with the music. I like all those aspects, man. I really, since becoming a content creator, I've started looking at those things more, especially in like movies and stuff. And they get me really excited because I'm like, oh, okay, they're trying to go for this emotion. And then they're building up to this, it's kind of nerdy stuff, but if you're a creator and you try to understand people's attentions and people's emotions, that's one of the things that I find interesting, and it's exciting because it's stuff that I would utilize, right? Like I'm utilizing chill music because I want a chill vibe here, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, some of the issues that I think this game is going to have, just because one, they are a young team, and two, this is probably the worst part about like first person single player games and even multiplayer co-op games. The AI, I think they might struggle with people enjoying the AI, because here's the problem. AI does not act like humans, and people enjoy that multiplayer dynamic attack, defend, dynamic movements. People enjoy that more, which is why games like Warzone are so big, even though that's, I guess, dying. But people enjoy that. What they don't enjoy so much is just bots running around the same corner, and coming at you. And so one of the things that's going to be really difficult with this game is really capturing that AI that's not too hard, not too easy, doesn't seem too stupid. And not a lot of games do that super well. There's not a lot of games that have fantastic AI, and that may be a point where people are least pleased. I don't know though, because I don't know how it's going to go. I got my hands on a demo a while ago when I did a video about this, and the demo seemed okay, but the AI weren't great either. It was a decent experience to experience the gunplay and the movements, which were really good. They felt really smooth. They felt really fluid. But the AI, I don't remember them being anything to write home about. So they definitely have tweaked that. They talk about this in the devlog that they have tweaked that. So I'm looking forward to seeing again something that comes out of that to understand better how the game is going to feel with that AI. So I don't know if there's going to be another demo, probably not. But when the game releases, you can bet that I am going to be playing it. If you want more info on that, if you want to see my thoughts, if you like this channel, this content so far, hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. It's free, helps me out so that I can get my wife nice flowers. But other than that, man, I mean, you can watch the devlog for everything that's been going down. They've obviously been working very, very hard on this. They've come a long way. Everything that I see in this devlog gets me excited for the game, gets me pumped for the game. And it seems the community has the same thoughts, the same opinions on this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people excited to play it because he does have a fairly big following, a bunch of fans, but also like from what we can tell, he knows his games. So, and he's trying the team is trying their best to make something very quality that you don't see in the indie sphere when those AAA companies, you know, they may spend a ton of money and do a ton of cinematics and stuff, but we all know how AAA companies operate. They're not fantastic. They do dumb stuff. So hopefully he takes sort of the quality that they're able to capture with this and bring it into an enjoyable experience that puts his development studio on the map. So obviously I'm rooting for him, but I know a lot of people are rooting for it to fail. So that's one of those things that we're going to have to see. Now, again, for me, I think regardless of if he would have taken those quality steps, I don't think there's a ton of hardcore first-person tactical single-player campaign games out there. That's a lot of words, a lot of descriptive words, a lot of adjectives. But I don't think there's a ton of that. And right now, I think people are, you know, excited about more stuff like that, more of the first-person hardcore tactical stuff. Especially, and there's a lot of people that don't want to play multiplayer. They just want single player. So I think that he's going to reach a very, very large audience with this. And that gets me excited for him, because what I would like to see is to take this universe. If this is successful, take this universe, this Houston 2056, and maybe bring it into a multiplayer experience. Start with that single player, story driven, maybe make a second one sort of with the same idea, the same concepts, unless the main guy, Eli, dies at the end or something like that, then you can't do that. But didn't stop Assassin's Creed. But I would love to see them take this story-driven approach and maybe create a new one, or create like a multiplayer aspect of it in the same universe with the same weapons, so people understand what's going on. That's one of the things that I find silly about, let's say, Apex Legends or Battlefield 2042. Why would I care about the characters? I have no connection to the characters at all. I have no desire for them to survive or to do anything, or it just, they don't matter. That's why I find hero shooters so kind of freaking obnoxious. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about who's doing what. They try to tell a story, but it's stupid. It's just stupid, and nobody cares. So I would love to see a character that you care about, or characters that you care about, bring them into a multiplayer experience and have people care about them there. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the devlog? Have you seen it? Have you watched it? I will link it down below. I suggest you watch the whole thing. I really didn't want to do an overview of it, but I did want to hit on some key parts, key elements that I'm really excited about when it comes to that. So what do you think? Are you a fan of BigFry? Are you not a fan? Are you excited about his video? Are you going to hit the like button? Are you going to hit the dislike button? Hit that dislike button. You know where it is. If you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. I think that's about it. These videos, I hope, are enjoyable to people, because I'm just off the top of my head for most of it. So thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, blend in until you need to stand out.